Yeah, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? So, this will be my last time, hopefully, making one of these videos in the case of just not having anything to talk about. There's nothing out, and I want to talk about something. Um, but with this week's, I wanted to talk about Angel Beats. I've talked about a couple shows that seemingly had, some action, some this and that, but a show that truly is kind of the polar opposite of those, which it does have some action here and there, but the action is more or less, um, it's just there in the grand scheme of giving the audience something to see and take away from everything that's going on from the overall story, and even throw them off a little bit, right? So the show kind of evolves around a certain person in the show named Angel who beats the crap out of everyone. No, she does, but she doesn't as well. So pretty much we know what happens to one character kind of early on, kind of not, because his memory is fuzzy, just like everybody else's. And because his memory is so fuzzy, because his thoughts of what's going on around him and these people that he's around, he's very confused in the case of just like, why the heck did he show up to a place where the first thing that happens to him, he's like shot by some random cute, uh, some random cute girl. And then he doesn't die from it. He wakes up and pretty much he starts to learn every single thing that he needs to learn about the area that he's in, and comes to find out that a lot of the people here are, um, they don't know how they got here, why they're here, but it's pretty much a school and a place where all these kids are dressed up in a certain uniform. And on the flip side, there's other like students and teachers and all this stuff, but they're not like them. They're not outspoken. They don't break rules. They don't stay out past curfew. They don't eat what they're not supposed to eat. You know what I mean? They're practically programmed to be these types of people, which they are. And then there's a chance for our main characters to become one of them, in the case of straight up being someone who doesn't really think for themselves, just goes to school like nothing really even happens, does their homework and all that different stuff, while in their eyes they can do anything. They can skip classes, they can uh, build traps and different like like they can practically build anything they know the workings of or learn the workings of in this world. So I'm saying all that to say this show gives off like some really good comedy. It talks about some pretty awesome stuff to hear here and there, with the characters and the just building up their personal lives with each other and stuff like that. But then there's some problems, right? Then the sad stuff starts coming out, and I think the one that really caught me off guard was this guy. So everybody just had their past lives, and the thing that caught me off guard was the show was funny. Like it had very funny, upbeat moments where you're just dying of laughter because of the people and how they interact, and then it just gets so sad. It gets so sad that I'm pretty sure you're confirmed a robot if you don't feel anything during this show. Um, to think that everything I was watching in this show comes down to just being one of the most emotional animes I've ever seen. Not to mention, it was one of the first emotional animes I ever saw as I was getting into the genre of just anime past Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, and Cowboy Bebop, which granted Cowboy Bebop was kind of emotional, but it was nowhere near as emotional as this. And coming to find out that everybody has these dark pasts that they were trying to practically escape from, or they kind of felt regret that they didn't get to do everything they wanted to do. So that's why most of these people who are unique actually have these, wants and urges and thought processes, even though they can't remember everything that they did or that they wanted to be. They have a good idea of what they could have done. And a good example is the person they have a band. It's like three of them or something. Yeah, from the perspective of me, they all seem pretty real. Like they're in a band, they're singing songs that they created. I don't think they ever like, oh, we're just doing a cover of a song that we've all heard of. They were making their own songs and practically the only living music in this world. No one else was really focused or doing music besides Angel, who plays the piano. But I don't really think anyone got to see that side of her for quite some time. Um, so it was just one of these things. You're just stuck in this weird world that you don't understand till the end, and it just took so much out of me. And the funniest part in the whole entire show, to leave it off on a funny note, is like I said, they can make anything they pretty much put their minds to. So they wind up making a whole entire like seven, eight, or like just a whole bunch of different stages of traps. And these traps are all used for Angel, who seemingly, like them, has the will to kind of do whatever she wants, but because she's tied to the school in the scheme of, following orders, doing things in an orderly fashion, be on time, uh, since she's like a student council or like a helper of the school, she has to kind of abide by it and make others follow along. So she would be the person to kind of like take you into detention or take you into your classes and maybe even help turn you into one of those students that don't have any uh, type of thought process for themselves. And you gotta think of this too is she is doing it blindly, thinking that whatever she's doing is going to help. That's her thought process is I'm trying to help these people. I'm not their enemy, and everything I'm doing right now is for them, not against them. And the people we're watching, they see her as the ultimate evil from beyond the graves, okay? They see her as the the devil woman. They see her as just the scariest thing ever, but they name her Angel because, of course, she has like ridiculously angel-like features to them. Um, but yeah, they set up all these traps for her in particular, and mind you, she's just like this girl I have on the gameplay. I tried to match a character that reminds me a lot of her. She's almost like a robot, but she's actually a real girl, and she just has ways to not take any damage. The way she created stuff was that she would have her own defensive systems, her own offensive systems. She's building all these things that she needs to battle the other kids that are straight up building snipers and shotguns and machine guns to combat her. So it becomes this show that you kind of lose the meaning of what the heck's going on until they bring you back and they show you exactly what the goal is for everything. And I really, really would love to hear some people's experience with the show, or if you've never seen the show, if you watch it and come back because I'm the one who kind of put you onto it, or you saw the title of the video and you wanted to check out Angel Beats After, please let me know anything that you actually saw in the show, or if there's other shows you would suggest that are like this one that has this comedy, this great friendships, and all this, and then it just leads into despair. Um, I think this is one of my favorite shows that I've watched back in the day that really made me understand that Japanese and anime writers in general can be so interesting to follow upon when you don't know where the actual story is going at all. I was just listening to his way of explaining the characters, the way that other characters like different stuff, like all this different stuff I was paying attention to, and I wasn't paying attention to the one thing that was obvious. So once Angel actually joins their side, it's almost like things change for the worse. So I hope everybody checks it out. Angel Beats, one of the greatest dramas or just animes that have a little bit of everything, in my opinion, and I really do hope to hear from you guys. And sorry, there's not much I can record other than just my feelings on certain shows that people might not even care to hear from me. It's just I do daily content, and I'd rather put something out here now before I forget later tonight, or maybe not want to do it because I gotta work, and at least my anime people have something to look at for every single day. So, that being said, peace out, everybody.